The person who loves you very much often ignores you because of two specific reasons. Love does not always show up as sweet words. Love is not always about giving you all of their focus. Sometimes love feels like total quiet. Sometimes it feels like being far away. Often the person who cares for you the most is the person who pulls back, who stays silent, and who looks like they are far away when you want them close by. You sit there wondering if they truly love you. Why do they stay away? If they care, why do they act so cold? If I am truly important to them, why do they act like I am not there? The answer is not easy to hear, but it is not a mean answer either. When someone ignores you even though they love you a lot, it usually comes down to two secret reasons, two fears that control the human heart. Let us look at them one by one. 1. The fear of losing their own identity in you. Love is very powerful. When someone falls hard for another person, their feelings no longer belong just to them. Suddenly, their joy depends on your mood. Their calm depends on you being there. Their whole day goes up and down based on your attention. That strength can be too much to handle. Imagine standing under a heavy waterfall. At first, it feels fresh, strong, and exciting. But if you stay too long, it starts to drown you. That is how powerful love feels to a person who is not ready to be taken over by it. So what do? They step away. They ignore you. They create space not because they love you less, but because they love you too much. The logic behind this fear is what experts call the fear of being swallowed up. It happens when love feels so strong that a person worries they will lose who they are inside it. They fear losing their freedom. They fear becoming too open to being hurt. They fear that if they give themselves fully, they will no longer know who they are without you. And so they use silence as a shield. They ignore your texts. They avoid your eyes. They stay quiet, not because they are not thinking of you, but because they think of you too much. Their silence is not a no. It is a way to protect themselves. This is how it looks in daily life. They see your text right away, but wait hours to write back. Not because they do not care, but because they fear saying too much too fast. They avoid looking you in the eye in public. Yet, when you turn away, they cannot stop looking at you. They keep talk very short, but when you are gone, they repeat your words in their mind. It is as if they are telling themselves to stay back and not get too close. Do not lose your way, and yet every step away is full of wanting you. Every missed text is secretly valued. Every silence is filled with thoughts of you. Staying away becomes their way of breathing, because the love feels so heavy on their chest. 2. The fear of losing you forever. Now let us look at the second reason. Sometimes people ignore you not to protect themselves, but to protect the bond. This is the fear of being left behind. The fear of losing the one person they cannot imagine life without. When someone truly loves you, their doubts grow louder. They think about what happens if they are not good enough. What if you leave one day? What if I love them more than they love me? This fear makes them pull away. They ignore you not because they do not want you, but because they want you so much. They believe that if they stay too close, you will see their mistakes. They think that if they show their soft side, you will think they are weak. They worry that if they show how deep their love is, you might run away. So, they hide. They stay behind a wall of silence. They act cold when really their heart is on fire. The logic behind this fear is linked to feeling unsafe in a relationship. People with this fear believe love is breakable, short, and easily lost. So instead of risking the loss, they act like they do not care. But inside they care a lot. They are thinking too much, repeating every word you said and worrying about every quiet moment in your voice. Staying away becomes their strange way of holding on. They think if I stay far away, maybe I won't scare them off. If I act tough, maybe they won't see how scared I am of losing them. But of course, love cannot stay hidden forever. Their eyes show the truth. Their body shows the truth. Their soul shows the truth. The push and pull of love is something you might have noticed. The people who ignore you the most are often the ones who show sudden sparks of warmth. One day they are quiet, the next day they are full of kindness. One moment they avoid your look, the next moment they cannot stop watching you. This change is not about being confused. It is love stuck between two fears. The fear of losing themselves in you and the fear of losing you entirely. They move between these two sides, pulled by wanting you and pushed by fear. This is how you know their silence comes from love. Silence can mean many things, but when staying away comes from love, it feels different. Look for these small signs. 1. Their energy changes when you walk into the room. Even if they do not talk, you can feel their focus turn toward you. 2. They avoid you but still watch you. They might not speak to you, but they notice what you wear, how you feel, and the tiny details. 3. Their silence is nervous, not bored. They seem restless in the quiet, not relaxed. 4. They always come back. After times of ignoring you, they find small reasons to talk again. 5. Their eyes tell the story. The truth is always in the eyes. A person can hide their words, but not their look. What should you do when someone ignores you because of love? The urge is to chase them and ask why they are doing it or what is wrong, but often this makes them run even further away. Instead, answer with patience. Give them room but do not disappear. Show them you are steady so they learn love is not a trap or a danger. Be kind because behind their silence is fear. The best way to stop this cycle is to make them feel safe. Let them know that loving you won't make them lose who they are. You will not leave them just because they show they are human. Love can be safe. Love can be steady. Love can be home. Final thought. So why does the person who loves you deeply ignore you so much? It is because of two fears. 1. The fear of losing themselves in you. 2. The fear of losing you entirely. Both fears come from love, not from a lack of care. Both silences are calls for help, not rejections. Love in its strongest form is scary. It makes people run even when they want to stay. It makes people stay quiet even when they want to talk. But remember this, when someone truly loves you, even their quiet moments are full of your name. Even their distance is a way of being close. Even their silence is not being gone. It is love shaking behind a wall of fear. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and follow our channel. Thank you for your help. When someone starts to step out from behind that wall of fear, the process is slow. It does not happen overnight. You might notice that they start testing the water. They might send a short text after days of silence or share a small thought they usually keep hidden. This is a very big step for them. It is their way of seeing if the world is still safe. They are checking to see if you are still there, waiting with the same patience you showed while they were gone. If you react with anger or demand to know where they were, they will likely retreat back into their shell. But if you meet them with warmth, you prove that love is a steady ground, not a shifting sand. The journey from silence to speaking is about building trust. This person needs to learn that being close to you does not mean they will vanish. They need to see that showing their heart does not mean it will be broken. You become a mirror for them. When you stay calm and consistent, you show them that their fears are just shadows. Over time, the periods of ignoring will get shorter. The sudden bursts of warmth will stay longer. The distance they created to stay safe will start to shrink because they realize that home is not a place where they lose themselves, but a place where they are finally found. It is also important for you to remember your own worth during this time. Understanding their fear does not mean you have to hurt. You can set your own gentle boundaries. You can say that you value their space but also value communication. When two people move from a place of fear to a place of safety, the love becomes much stronger than it was before. It moves from a wild, scary thing into a deep, peaceful connection. Silence is no longer a shield they use to hide. It becomes a quiet space you share together. If you are the one who has been ignoring the person you love, try to take one small risk today. Say one honest thing. Send one simple message. You don't have to give up your whole identity at once. Just open the door a little bit. You will find that the person waiting on the other side is not there to trap you or judge you, but to walk beside you. Love is only terrifying until you realize you don't have to carry it alone. Understanding these fears is only the first step. The next step is knowing how to bridge the gap between their silence and your heart. When you are the one waiting, the silence can feel heavy, but the way you handle it determines if the wall stays up or comes down. You have to realize that you cannot force someone to stop being afraid. Fear is a door that can only be unlocked from the inside. If you try to pull them toward you too hard, they will feel that loss of control they fear so much. They will think that their identity is truly being taken over, and they will run even faster. The secret is to be a constant light. Think of a lighthouse. It does not chase the ships or yell at them to come closer. It simply stays in one place, shining steadily, showing the way to the shore. When you are consistent and calm, you provide a safe place for them to land when they are tired of running. You show them that your love is not a storm they will drown in, but a harbor where they can rest. This is how you handle the fear of losing oneself. You show them that they can be with you and still be themselves. But what about their fear of losing you? This requires a different kind of care. This person stays silent because they think they are flawed or not enough. They think that if they show you their true heart, you will eventually find a reason to leave. To help them, you must offer small, honest pieces of reassurance. You don't need grand gestures. You just need to show them that you are not going anywhere. Tell them you appreciate their quiet strength. Tell them you are there whenever they are ready. When they see that their silence did not drive you away, they start to realize that their presence won't drive you away either. Slowly, the pattern begins to change. The person who used to wait hours to text back might start replying in minutes. The person who avoided your eyes might start holding your gaze a second longer. These are huge victories. They are the signs of a heart learning to trust. It is the moment when the love becomes stronger than the fear. They stop seeing you as a threat to their freedom and start seeing you as the partner to their soul. They stop seeing love as a risk of loss and start seeing it as a gain of peace. In the end, love is a conversation that happens even when no words are spoken. If you are in this cycle right now, have hope. The fact that they are ignoring you out of love means the spark is still very much alive. It is just covered by a layer of protection by staying patient, staying kind, and staying true. You help them peel back those layers. You move from the pain of being ignored to the beauty of being truly known. You learn that the greatest love stories are not the ones that are easy from the start, but the ones where two people choose to stay until the fear finally fades away. When the silence finally breaks, a new phase of the journey begins. This is the moment when the walls start to crumble and the real connection takes place. It is often a delicate time because the person who was hiding is now standing in the open. They have decided to stop ignoring you and start facing the feelings they were trying to avoid. This transition can be messy. They might be extra sensitive or still show signs of pulling back every now and then. It is like a person learning to walk again after being still for a very long time. You must be the one who holds out a hand without pulling too hard. The healing of this bond happens through shared moments that feel safe. You start to replace the old memories of coldness with new memories of warmth. Instead of wondering why they are silent, you start to enjoy the sound of their voice. You find that the topics they were too scared to talk about before are now the things that bring you closer. They begin to share their dreams, their past, and the specific reasons why they felt they had to stay away. When they speak these fears out loud, the fears lose their power. A fear shared is a fear halved. And by listening, you help them take the weight off their shoulders. You will also notice a change in yourself during this process. You learn that your worth was never tied to their attention. You realize that you had the strength to wait and the heart to understand something difficult. This makes the relationship more mature. It is no longer just about the excitement of a new romance. It is about the deep roots of a lasting partnership. You have survived the silence together, which means you can survive almost anything. The trust that grows from this struggle is much deeper than trust that has never been tested. Now, you must look toward the future. A relationship that has moved past the cycle of ignoring becomes a place of true growth. You both learn that space is healthy and that being alone is not the same as being lonely. They learn that they can have their own life and still be fully yours. You learn that their need for a moment of quiet is not a sign that they are leaving. You develop a language that does not need words, a way of checking in on each other that feels like a hug instead of a cage. The final goal is to reach a state of total peace. This is where the ignoring stops completely because there is no longer a need for a shield. The fear of losing oneself is gone because you support their growth. The fear of losing you is gone because you have proven your loyalty. What remains is a love that is honest, open, and free. It is a love that does not need to hide behind walls. It is a love that has finally come home to stay. This is the reward for all the patience and all the quiet days. You have turned a wall into a bridge. As the connection grows, you will see that the space between you is no longer a gap, but a bridge. The person who once used silence as a wall now uses it as a way to rest. They no longer feel the need to push you away to find their own breath. They realize that they can be close to you and still be their own person. This is the moment when the fear of being swallowed up by love finally turns into the comfort of being supported by it. They stop seeing your presence as a threat to their freedom and start seeing it as a safe place to grow. You will also notice that the fear of losing you begins to change. Instead of pulling away to avoid being hurt, they start to lean in to make the bond stronger. They understand that acting cold does not protect the relationship. It only creates a distance that neither of you wants. They start to show you their true self, even the parts they think are weak or messy. When you accept those parts without walking away, their fear of being left behind starts to fade. They learn that your love is not a prize they have to keep winning, but a gift that stays even when they are not perfect. This shift changes the way you talk to each other. You move from guessing what the silence means to having open conversations about your feelings. If they need a moment alone, they can now say it with words instead of disappearing. If you feel lonely, you can tell them without making them feel trapped. This honesty is the glue that keeps everything together. It stops the cycle of guessing and replaces it with the peace of knowing. You both realize that you are on the same team fighting against the fears instead of fighting against each other. The beauty of this stage is that the love becomes steady. It is no longer a roller coaster of highs and lows, but a calm river that flows in one direction. You have both worked through the hardest parts of the human heart. You have looked at the deepest fears and decided to stay anyway. This creates a level of respect that most people never find. You know that if things get hard again, you have the tools to handle it. You have proven that your love is stronger than the walls people build to protect themselves. In the end, you look back at the time of being ignored and see it as a period of learning. It was a test that taught you patience and taught them trust. It was the fire that refined your bond. Now you can enjoy the warmth of the flame without the fear of getting burned. You have found a way to be two separate people who are also perfectly joined. The person who used to ignore you is now the person who hears you even when you are quiet. You are finally in a place where love is not a source of fear, but a source of power. When you reach this stage of deep understanding, you begin to see that love is not a battle to be won, but a garden to be tended. The person who once stayed silent now understands that sharing their heart is the only way to keep it healthy. They no longer feel that they have to choose between being themselves and being with you. They see that you are the one person who encourages them to be whole. This realization changes everything. The heavy weight of fear is lifted, and in its place is a light feeling of freedom. They can finally breathe easy in your presence because they know you are not trying to change them or own them. This new sense of safety allows both of you to plan for a future that is not clouded by doubt. You start to build a life where the quiet moments are filled with peace instead of worry. When one of you gets quiet, the other does not panic. You know that silence is just a part of the natural rhythm of life, not a sign of a looming disaster. You have learned to read each other's souls so well that you can feel the love even when nothing is being said. This is the highest form of connection, where words are just a bonus and presence is the true language. You also learn the importance of forgiveness for the time that was lost to fear. You don't look back at the days of being ignored with bitterness or anger. Instead, you look at them with a sense of grace. You recognize that those moments were necessary for growth. They were the shadows that made the sunlight feel so much warmer. By forgiving the past, you prevent it from leaking into your present. You choose to focus on the person who is standing before you now, the person who chose to overcome their deepest anxieties just to be close to you.